Nebuchadnezzar strikes Judah during the reign of Jehoiakim, and the first deportation tears Jerusalem's young nobles out of their world. Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, 15-year-olds, are taken to Babylon for imperial training. They refuse the king's food, keeping their covenantal integrity, and with them begins Israel's intellectual, cultural, and spiritual exile. This year becomes the foundation of the entire long-range prophetic structure. Daniel 1 unfolds directly from it. Daniel 2 begins with Daniel already in training when Nebuchadnezzar dreams. Something unprecedented happens. Authority shifts from temple to exile, from priestly hierarchy to individual conscience, from a national story to a global vision of empires. 605 BC is the true entry point of historical prophetic reality. Judaism as a national revelatory system collapses, and prophecy becomes global insight. It is the first great rupture of land, temple, national authority, language as Aramaic takes hold, and identity itself. With Daniel in Babylon, the narrative of Revelation becomes world history. 586 BC, the fall of Jerusalem. Babylon completes its conquest. The temple is burned, the Davidic monarchy collapses, and a second wave of deportation empties Judah. Daniel is now about 34, already integrated into the imperial system. This catastrophe becomes the backdrop of every vision in Daniel. Only once the theocracy ends does the statue of Daniel 2, gold, silver, bronze, iron, become intelligible as the architecture of world empires. 586 BC marks the final transition from national revelation to imperial history. Israel's political religious structure breaks apart, clearing space for a prophetic model built on conscience, identity, personal integrity, and direct insight unmediated by institutions. With this moment, the Age of Empires begins, the stage on which all of Daniel's long-range visions will unfold. Year 539 BC. The fall of Babylon. Babylon collapses in one night. Belshazzar's rule ends instantly as the Medo-Persian Empire takes power. Daniel interprets the handwriting on the wall, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin, and the world changes throne by throne. By now, Daniel is about 81. He has already received the visions of the four beasts, 552 BC, and the ram and the goat, 549 BC. He has lived through the entire Babylonian era and now steps into the Persian one as a senior advisor. This year becomes the hinge of empires. Daniel turns to Jeremiah's prophecy of 70 years, and Daniel 9 is triggered by this political shift. He prays for national restoration. Gabriel reveals the 70 weeks, the most precise prophetic chronology in Scripture. The year 539 BC proves that Daniel's prophetic model is anchored in historical realism. Empires rise and fall by moral logic, not mythic cycles. Under Darius, Babylon's administration is reorganized. 120 satraps, 3 chief administrators, Daniel among them, and soon above them all. Jealous rivals conspire, manipulate the king into a decree banning any prayer except to him for 30 days. Daniel continues praying toward Jerusalem 3 times a day. He is accused, condemned, thrown into the lion's den. God sends his angel. The lions do not touch him. Darius issues a public decree honoring Daniel's God. Daniel is about 82, near the end of his life. He has interpreted Nebuchadnezzar's dreams, witnessed the fall of the tree, seen Babylon collapse, received the visions of Daniel 7 and 8 and the revelation of Daniel 9. The lion's den is the seal on a lifetime of moral consistency and revelatory clarity. Daniel 6 is not an apocalyptic vision, but it is structurally prophetic. Law versus conscience, empire versus identity, decree versus prayer. It comes after the 70 weeks prophecy, proving that the man entrusted with the most precise messianic prophecy is also the man who withstands the ultimate legal test. This episode exposes the mechanics of imperial religion, legal manipulation, worship as political loyalty, and the attempt to standardize devotion as submission to the state. 536 BC, the final vision, Daniel 10-12. In the third year of Cyrus, around 536 BC, Daniel is about 84. The first groups have already returned to Jerusalem, but Daniel remains near the centers of Persian power. Here, he receives his last and most extensive revelation. A heavenly figure appears. Daniel collapses under the weight of the encounter. The long conflict between the kings of the north and south is unveiled. The timeline stretches far beyond his life into the time of the end. These chapters become the sealed roadmap of centuries. Persia's struggles, the rise of Greece, its fragmentation into 4 kingdoms, the philosophical cultural dominance that will culminate in 280 BC, the deformation of truth, and the eventual restoration. Daniel is told to seal the book because the real battleground will not be armies or borders, but texts, concepts, and identity. This aligns precisely with the reading of the Little Horn as philosophy and the LXX era as the decisive turning point, when interpretation becomes the new empire.